Our next guest is everything. I mean, from actor, comedian, film director. He's been named one of the top 10 directors to watch. Please welcome Chandrasekhar. Is that right?
That's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
You nailed it.
Oh, everybody, all of the crew, everybody is so excited about having you here.
They're all huge fans.
I mean, your credits are amazing, but can we start at the beginning? Because did you start in the film industry as a grip?
You know, I started as a production assistant on a CNC Music Factory video. That one, right? And they just played it probably 50 times during the day, and they just keep playing it, and you're like, you know, and so my job was to drive the models around, and I knew instantly I loved show business.
You did?
Yeah.
How many models were in that car?
There were 6 models in the van.
In a van?
In a van.
So it was a low budget.
It was a little bit low, yeah.
There was no limo.
How has your career changed from those days to what you're doing now?
Well, I will say this. Like, you know, when I was driving the models around in the van, I was really sort of, you know, I asked a couple out on dates, and I really didn't get anywhere with them. But the comparison is when I got to choose Jessica Simpson's Daisy Dukes, her shorts.
Oh,
she and I went into like
that's a big moment.
We went into a trailer with about 300 pairs of jean shorts, and she went behind a curtain, put them on, came out. What do you think? I was like, I've really arrived.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I think everyone would love that job.
I still want to know how you got there from the production assistant.
Well,
tell about the time that they thought you were a doctor.
Right. So, I was, you know, we were doing live stage shows with my group, Broken Lizard, and we decided to try to make a movie because we were big fans of Monty Python, and they made 4 or 5 movies, and so we wrote a film, and we started trying to raise money, you know, from mostly my uncles and aunts and parents. Like, they're all doctors, and so they each gave a little bit. And then the credit card companies were under the impression that I was a doctor. And 70,000 in debt later, they called me up and they said, "You're not a doctor, are you?" And I said, "It's racist for you to think that." And they cut me off.
Cut you off, but you spent $75,000 of credit card on making that movie.
Yeah, and luckily we had gone into Sundance and we sold the movie, and I paid them back.
How long?
I mean, I paid them back about a year later. It was expensive.
So, Jay, what does your family think about the path that you took? You said they're all doctors. Was your dad just shaking his head going, what happened?
No, I mean, I assumed I would try to be a doctor, but I went to Colgate University and I got a C- in organic chemistry, and it was over. And so I, you know, had to do something else. I decided to try to be a movie actor.
You do a great impression of your dad. You do a great impression of your dad, too, don't you?
Of course I do.
What is it?
Let's hear
Can you show us?
It is okay to do the movie business if you are successful.
If you're successful?
Yeah. They love it. They love it.
They?
They, you know, our shows, you know, our movies tend to be a little dirty. And
how was that the first time, like watching a screening with your parents?
Well, when we made the film Beer Fest, there's a scene where a courier he brings like this ancient bottle of beer to the German team, and it's their old recipe, and they taste it and they're like, this is the secret recipe, but now we have to kill the messenger, right? Because he's the only one who knows about it. And so they take you know, they have all this beer and these tubes, and they stick one in each ear and up his nose, and you know, and in his booty. And my dad is sitting there watching, and he's like, "You know that will kill him." And I said, "Yeah, Dad, we're trying to. That's the whole point. We're trying to kill him." He goes,
right.
"That's not nice." He just doesn't like violence. He likes he likes the sexy stuff.
You're appearing at the Sons of Herman, right?
Tonight,
Doing stand-up comedy.
Sons of Herman, and I tell a lot of stories from all the different movies, and then I tell a lot of stand-up jokes.
And so let me ask you something. The joke that the defense attorney told, the knock-knock joke in the Zimmerman trial, tell me, is there any way you could have made that funny?
I just think it was a high-risk place to tell a joke. My friend, a stand-up I know named Kumail Nanjiani, he tweeted, he said the opening joke for the defense attorney did not kill, unlike the defendant.
It was pretty risky. What part of your performance gets the best response from the audience?
Well, I think people know me from, from Super Troopers and Beer Fest. So I think a lot of those sort of behind-the-scenes stories, people have really seen.
But the Sons of Herman, won't there be a lot of older people in that audience? Are they as familiar with you as the younger people? I mean, look at me, like Beer Fest, what's that? I haven't seen it.
Well, it's a movie about competitive beer drinking teams, and they compete for the ultimate prize.
You would like that.
I would like
that.
Is the Sons of Herman a place where old people hang out?
Well, aren't they Sons of Herman? I
gotta call my agent.
No, that's right. They just rent it out.
Okay.
Jay, how do you deal with the haters in this business now that you're so entrenched in show business?
Well, it's interesting. You try really hard to become a filmmaker and a comic, and what you realize is with the internet, you're really exposing yourself to just these demons of hate, and most of it is really friendly stuff. And I have luckily, probably until this moment, so far avoided most people who are, occasionally someone will come on and say something like, you're fat and you're not funny anymore, and you're like, all right, now I feel terrible about myself. But it's like, there's nothing you can do.
Courtney's laughing because Courtney has ways to deal with haters. You'll have to talk to her off camera and find out. You can get dragged into a war with a guy who's sitting in his basement, but I don't know if it's advisable with all these guns around,
So the gun issue, how do you feel about Jim Carrey, what he's doing? About, the movie he's just made, and now he's not going to promote it because it's got violence. Didn't he know that when he read the script?
I think he had a real strong reaction to that Connecticut thing, and I think a lot of people in Hollywood are thinking, well, how much of this gun stuff do we need to do? Now, the problem is, between Connecticut and now, all these movies have already been shot. And so we're not going to get rid of the movies.
No, and that's a good point to make about Jim Carrey. Is he made that movie long before that happened, so he's changed his opinion about that.
Well, we like having you here a lot.
Oh, thanks.
And you can catch Jay's comedy show tonight at Son of Harmon Hall. For event details, just go to dthebroadcast.tv. Click on today's links.